As another school year begins, students across the country are setting goals. Some want to make the honor roll. Some want to make the team. Some want to make new friends. Some simply want to survive. Those are all worthwhile goals. But today, I want to share one goal that I hope every child and every adult will pursue. Make yourself proud. Because there will be many moments in life when other people applaud your accomplishments. But the greatest accomplishment is being able to look in the mirror and know you earned them with honesty, integrity, and character. Stay with me. Welcome back to the Advocate Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kristi N. Love. Whether you're a parent, an educator, coach, mentor, grandparent, or someone who simply believes children deserve adults who invest in both their minds and their hearts, thank you for joining me today. Every day in my classroom, I spend a few minutes with my students having what I call a character chat. These aren't lessons about history, they're lessons about life. We talk about things like integrity, respect, responsibility, perseverance, gratitude, compassion, and courage. The kind of conversations I hope they'll remember long after they've forgotten some of the academic content I teach. Every school year, my very first character chat has the same title: Make yourself proud. Those 3 words become the foundation for everything else we do that year. Because I want my students to hold themselves accountable for excellence in their own lives. I want them to study hard, to grow, to reach their goals, to become leaders, to make the honor roll and the team. But more than anything, I want them to be proud not only of what they accomplish, but how they accomplish it. Today, I want to tell you why. Let's go.
Dr. Kristi N. Love is an experienced educator and advocate dedicated to empowering students and families to ensure children receive a high-quality education. She specializes in culturally responsive teaching, restorative practices, and social-emotional learning, helping schools create supportive and inclusive environments. Through the Advocate Podcast, she amplifies voices, challenges inequitable systems, and keeps children at the center of every conversation.
The year was 1993. I was taking a human anatomy lab exam. I had prepared. I had studied. Question after question, I knew the answers. Then I came to one question. Just one. I didn't know the answer. Well, I knew the answer, but I couldn't recall the answer. So I made a decision I wish I hadn't. I glanced over at someone else's paper. I copied the answer. The answer was zona pellucida. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, that's right. It's zona pellucida. I'll never forget it. When the test came back, I had a perfect score, 100. When I shared the story with my students during our character chats, I usually add a little humor. I'll tell them I called my mom and she said, "Baby girl, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad you're smart like me and not dumb like your daddy." They always get a laugh. One of the things I love about teaching is bringing joy into the classroom. We laugh together. I challenge them with a riddle every day, and I believe some of the best learning happens when students feel connected. But here's the part of the story that isn't a joke. No matter who congratulated me, no matter who thought I'd earned that perfect score, I knew I hadn't. I knew that one answer wasn't mine. And in that moment, I realized something that has stayed with me for more than 30 years. Other people can celebrate your accomplishments. Other people can be proud of what they think you've achieved. But only you know whether you earned the right to be proud of yourself. Now, here's what's fascinating. That happened more than 30 years ago. I don't remember the other questions. I don't remember the other answers. But I remember the one I cheated to get. Zona pellucida. Think about that. The answer I didn't earn is the one that stayed with me. I've asked myself over the years, why wasn't I just happy with a 98? Why did I allow one moment to rob me of the joy of knowing I had genuinely done well? Because a 98 I earned honestly would have been something to celebrate. Instead, I walked away with a 100 that never brought me peace. That experience taught me something no textbook ever could. Success feels different when you've earned it. That's why I tell my students, make yourself proud. Not because I expect perfection. None of us are perfect. I certainly wasn't. I tell them that story because I wasn't. I don't tell it because I'm ashamed. I tell it because I learned from it. Making yourself proud means doing your best, studying when you'd rather scroll, practicing when no one is watching, choosing honesty when dishonesty seems easier, keeping your word, owning your mistakes, apologizing when you've hurt someone, giving your best effort when no one is handing out trophies. That's what makes you proud. Not perfection, integrity. As adults, we celebrate a lot of outcomes. Honor roll, perfect attendance, athletic championships, scholarships, awards, acceptance letters. Those things deserve celebration. But I hope we're also celebrating the journey. The student who stayed up studying instead of copying someone else's homework. The athlete who practiced every morning before school. The child who admitted they made a mistake instead of blaming someone else. The student who failed a test, asked for help, studied harder, and improved the next time. Those victories build character. Those victories prepare children for life. Because life simply isn't about achieving, it's about becoming. Children are always watching us. They're learning what we celebrate. If we only celebrate outcomes, they may begin believing outcomes are all that matter. But when we celebrate effort, discipline, growth, honesty, kindness, resilience, we teach them something much bigger. We teach them that who they are becoming matters just as much as what they accomplish. Imagine a child coming home with a B they earned honestly after working harder than they ever have. That's something to celebrate. Imagine another child bringing home an A they didn't earn. The paper may look better, but their character didn't grow. One grade may impress others. The other builds confidence. And as I prepared this episode, I realized something. This message isn't just for my students. It's for me. It's for all of us. Adults still face opportunities to take shortcuts, to exaggerate, to cut corners, to compromise our values, to become someone we never intended to be. The question doesn't stop after graduation. Every day, we still have to ask ourselves, Am I making decisions that allow me to be proud of who I am? Our children are learning far more from what we model than from what we say. If we want them to value integrity, they have to see us living it. Parents, before we move on, I'd like to speak directly to you for just a moment. First, let me say this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you wanting your child to excel. I hope our children earn A's. I hope they make the honor roll. I hope they earn scholarships. I hope they make the team, get accepted into the college of their dreams, or become highly skilled in a trade they love. I hope they discovered their gifts and work hard to develop them. High expectations are not the problem. In fact, I believe our children should pursue excellence. But excellence and integrity should always walk hand in hand. Here's what I hope we never do. Never let a child believe your pride in them is hanging on a letter at the top of a report card. Our children want to make us proud, sometimes more than we even realize. They hear our excitement over good grades. They see our smiles when they accomplish something. They know we have dreams for them. And that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes, without intending to, we can lead them believing that disappointing us academically means disappointing us personally. That's a heavy burden for a child to carry. When children begin believing their value is tied to their performance, some will do almost anything to protect that image. Some will copy homework. Some will cheat on tests. Some lie about missing assignments. Some become so afraid of failing that they stop trying altogether. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't care, but because they are terrified of letting someone they love down. Parents, I don't believe that's what we want. I believe what we truly want is something much bigger than straight A's. We want our children to become honest, responsible, resilient, compassionate, dependable people whose word can be trusted. So yes, celebrate the A, celebrate the improved reading level, celebrate the science fair ribbon, celebrate making the team, celebrate the accomplishment, but don't stop there. Celebrate the hours they spent studying. Celebrate the courage it took to ask for help. Celebrate the honesty of admitting they made a mistake. Celebrate the perseverance of trying again after failing. Celebrate the kindness they showed to a classmate who needed a friend. Because here's what I hope every child hears from an adult who loves them. I'm proud of the grade you earned, but I'm even more proud of the character you showed while earning it. That's the kind of praise that shapes a life. Because one day, the report cards will be put away, the trophies will collect dust, the scholarships will be spent, but character will go with them into every interview, every marriage, every friendship, every workplace, every challenge they'll ever face. So this year, don't just ask your child, what grade did you make? Also ask, did you give your best effort? What did you learn? How did you treat people today? And maybe ask the same question I ask my students every year. Did you make yourself proud today? Because if we help our children answer yes to that question day after day, we're doing more than raising successful students. We're raising men and women of integrity. And that's something worth celebrating. As this new year begins, I hope students earn good grades. I hope they discover new passions. I hope they make lifelong friends. I hope they overcome challenges. I hope they dream bigger than they ever have before. But more than any of those things, I hope they become people of character. People whose word means something. People who choose honesty even when no one is looking. People who work hard because excellence matters. People who understand that the process is just as important as the product. Because there will come a day when no one asks about your 8th grade report card. Very few people will remember your GPA. Most won't know how many trophies you won. But your character, your integrity, your reputation, those things have a way of following you wherever you go. I still remember one word from that anatomy test, zona pellucida. Not because it changed my career, not because it was especially important, but because it reminds me of a lesson I'll never forget. The greatest reward isn't a perfect score. The greatest reward is the peace that comes from knowing you earned whatever you achieved. That's what I want for my students. That's what I want for my own children. And honestly, that's what I want for myself. So whether you're a parent, an educator, a student, or simply someone listening today, here's my challenge. As this school year begins, don't just ask, what do I want to accomplish? Also ask, how do I want to accomplish it? And at the end of every day, ask yourself one simple question. Did I make myself proud today? If you can answer yes, you'll be building something much greater than a resume. You'll be building character. And that's something no one can ever take away from you. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Advocate Podcast. I've been your host, Dr. Kristi N. Love. If today's conversation resonated with you, I hope you'll share it with someone. And maybe this week, start your own character conversation around the dinner table, in your classroom, or with your team. Ask one simple question. What does it mean to make yourself proud? You may even discover that the answers have very little to do with perfection and everything to do with purpose and integrity. And until next time, keep asking the hard questions, keep showing up for children, and keep advocating. Because children deserve adults who won't stop fighting for them. Be blessed.